Okay, today I wanted to have a look at how you actually solve some of these equations with surds in using the class pad. The class pad can be a bit sensitive about how you actually input numbers and how you put the surds in. So I'm going to just go through a couple of questions just to show you. Okay, let's go through this one first. If we went through this manually, this is quite straightforward. We could combine the square root of 3 and the square root of 2 under the square root symbol. We can bring the 2 across to here, so I've got equals 3 times 2. So I'm going to get square root of 6x equals 6. So x is going to equal 6 over the square root of 6, and then I multiply it by both top and bottom by the square root of 6 to rationalise it, and I end up with 6 on the bottom, 6 square root of 6 on the top, which is going to equal the square root of 6 because the 6 is cancels. Alright, so that's the answer we're looking for here. So on the class pad, I'm going to start off with the solve here, solve. Then I'm going to hit the first terms here are is a fraction. So I'm going to hit the fraction button, and you can go between the top and bottom, the numerator and the denominator of the fraction using the arrow keys. I'm going to hit the square root symbol, and I'm going to make that 3 there. Now I want to go down to the bottom, so I'm going to use this key. I'm going to go 2, and now you see we're still in the denominator. To get out of the denominator, you press the right key, and then you can press the square root key again. We've got 2 and an x. Oh, the x is now under there, so that's not right. So I'm going to delete that, press the right key, and you see how the cursor jumps to a larger size? That means I'm out from underneath the square root symbol. X equals, and then 3, and then I'm going to close my brackets again. So close my brackets here, and I'm going to go execute, and we get the same answer. Note here that I'm in standard. If I had done this and I'd executed it in decimal mode, it would have given me the decimal, but we want to stay in standard for solving these with exact values. Alright, the next one. So the next one, this one we want to solve for h in terms of p. So this has got a second variable in it. Okay, so it's easy to work this one out. Again, we can multiply out the sides. We want the h on its own, so I end up with h equals 2p over the square root of 3 square root of 2, which is going to give me 2p over the square root of 6, and I rationalise it by multiplying top and bottom by the square root of 6, so I get 2p square root of 6 on the top, 6 on the bottom, cancel those out, so I get p square root of 6 over 3. Alright, so that's the answer we're looking for. So again, in the class pad, we're going to go solve, and we're going to type in first we're going to go with a fraction. The top of it, we're going to use the square root symbol. We're going to go with a 3. We'll use the down arrow to get to there. We're going to put a 2, and the right arrow to get us out from under the fraction. We'll press equals, and then we're going to put a p. Okay, so I'm going to have to get my keyboard up for that. I go ABC, P. Seem to have added an extra symbol there. I'll delete that. P. Oh, no, it needs to be a fraction though first. So let me delete that. Go back to here, make it a fraction. Go to my ABC, make it a P. And then go down to the bottom. And on the bottom, go back. We've got the square root of 2. And I use my right arrow to get out from under the first. That was 2 presses of the right arrow because I had to get out from underneath the square root sign and then out from underneath that fraction. And then I'm going to put in my brackets, but I've forgotten to put in here, I've forgotten to put my h in. So I'm just going to click back here, make sure I'm outside there, go keyboard, and type H. Okay, so that's looking good now, and I'm going to go, let's go back to that. Okay, I'm going to go execute, and it's told me no solution. Now, that's because it's got two variables in it. So the mistake I made there, and I just forgot, so I'm going to duplicate that. Now I have to tell it what I want it to solve for. So I'm going to do a comma at the end here, and I'm going to type H because I want it to solve for H, and now I'm going to execute, and it's given us the same answer as this, p square root of 6 over 3. So one of the questions on the past paper, papers, was ended up with a quadratic equation, and they made the quadratic equation equal to 0 so that they could solve it. Now you could do this with the quadratic formula, but it was in the calculator assume section, so probably better to use the ClassPad to do it. So there's two ways to do this. We can do it either using solve or graphically. And if you were going to do it manually, you'd probably use the quadratic equation. Quadratic formula. Okay, to solve it, use the solve. We'll go back into main here. On the keyboard, we click solve. And you can see I've actually written it out here before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy that. Well, now let's do it from scratch so that you can see how to do it. So I'm going to go 0 equals 7 r 7r squared plus 18r minus 265, and then I want to solve for r, so I'm going to put comma r afterwards. The ClassPad will always solve for x, so if you've got it in r, then you need to put a comma r afterwards, so it will solve it with for r. So I'll put comma r, and then I close the brackets, and I press execute, and we get 5 is one solution, and minus 7.57 is another solution. So the other way we can do this is graphically. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to copy that. I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go edit, copy, and then I'm going to go to my list of functions, and I'm going to paste it in there. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the r's to x's. And then I'm going to hit the graph. Oh, I didn't check it, got to check it, hit the graph. And we can see it there. And then if I zoom, I should be able to zoom out. And I'm going to go analysis, gsolve, root. And it tells me that one of the roots is minus 7.57. And if I click on the right arrow key, the other root is 5. So we get the same answers. And I'm sure if you put the numbers in the quadratic formula, you'll get the same thing.